Assalamu alaikum. This is BTV News. I'm Tuli Komalika Das, welcoming you all to news at 5 p.m. A quite global race is underway over semiconductor chips, the tiny components powering everything from smartphones and artificial intelligence to modern vehicles and space technology. The United States, Taiwan, South Korea, Japan, China and India are now investing billions of dollars to strengthen their semiconductor industries. Bangladesh also aims to establish its position in this global race. While the country does not yet have chip manufacturing facilities, it is contributing to the research, chip design verification, software development and testing stages. Several local companies are already providing chip design and verification services for international markets. Experts say Bangladesh can strengthen its position in the global semiconductor industry by developing skilled human resources, expanding international partnerships, and ensuring long-term policy support. Currently, around 12,000 engineers and 21 companies are working in the sector, generating approximately $10 million in annual export earnings. Industry stakeholders expect exports to double within the next year. To become a technology producer, the Bangladesh government has launched initiatives to develop a national roadmap and a comprehensive semiconductor ecosystem. LGRD Minister Mirza Fakhrul Islam Alamgir said the government is committed to fulfilling the promises the BNP made to the people before the election. He made the remarks this morning while addressing the two-day Delta Conference 2026 at a hotel in the capital. Mirza Fakhrul stressed the need to build an exploitation-free, discrimination-free and democratic Bangladesh. He also spoke about various political and social issues related to nation building. Mirza Fakhrul Islam said the country is making economic and social progress under the leadership of Prime Minister Tariq Rahman. He added that the government is working for the welfare of people from all walks of life through initiatives such as the Farmer Card, Family Card and Sports Card. The flood situation has yet to return to normal in several parts of the country due to continuous rainfall, upstream water inflows and flash floods from the hills. While floodwaters have started to recede in some areas, fresh riverbank erosion has emerged in others and concerns remain over rising river levels in several locations. Many people remain stranded by floodwaters, particularly in Chattogram, the Chattogram Hill Tracts, Cox's Bazar, Sylhet and surrounding regions. Government data show that more than 12 lakh people have been affected by floods and landslides in several districts. The government is continuing rescue and relief operations, distributing aid in the affected areas. Meteorologists say the monsoon remains active, with more rainfall expected across the country. Residents in riverbank and low-lying areas have been urged to remain alert and follow flood forecasts and instructions issued by local authorities.
দেশের একমাত্র ব্যালেন্সড ড্রিঙ্কিং ওয়াটার স্পা এখন আরো ব্যালেন্সড দামে 500 মিলি মাত্র 15 টাকা এবং 330 মিলি মাত্র 10 টাকা। স্পা ড্রিঙ্কিং ওয়াটার, পানির জন্য ভালোবাসা। দেশের একমাত্র ব্যালেন্সড ড্রিঙ্কিং ওয়াটার স্পা এখন আরো ব্যালেন্সড দামে 500 মিলি মাত্র 15 টাকা এবং 330 মিলি মাত্র 10 টাকা। স্পা ড্রিঙ্কিং ওয়াটার, পানির জন্য ভালোবাসা।
Newly appointed Chief of Naval Staff Vice Admiral Khandokar Misbah-ul Azim paid tribute to the armed forces personnel who sacrificed their life in the liberation war by laying a wreath at Shikha Anirban in Dhaka Cantonment this morning, following his assumption of office. After paying his respects, the Navy Chief signed the visitors' book at Shikha Anirban. Later, upon arrival at the naval headquarters, he was formally received with a guard of honor by a smartly turned out naval contingent. He inspected the guard and took the salute. Principal staff officers and senior naval officials were present at the ceremony. Earlier, upon his arrival at the naval headquarters, the principal staff officers welcomed the newly appointed Navy chief. The number of dengue patients is increasing every day in the capital. Government and private hospitals are treating more infected people as continuous rain created stagnant water where Aedes mosquitoes breed. As a result, hospitals are admitting new dengue patients daily. Children, adults and people with chronic illnesses remain at higher risk of developing severe complications. Meanwhile, Dhaka North City Corporation increased its dengue prevention drives. Dhaka North City Corporation Chief Health Officer said regular mosquito control drives, larvicide operations and public awareness campaigns are being carried out across the city. According to the health experts, City Corporation efforts alone are not enough. They stress that every resident must keep their homes and surrounding areas clean to prevent mosquito breeding. Only a combined effort by the government and the public can reduce the spread of dengue, experts opined. They also emphasized early diagnosis, timely treatment and effective mosquito control are key to reducing the risk of deaths.
দেশের একমাত্র ব্যালেন্সড ড্রিঙ্কিং ওয়াটার স্পা এখন আরো ব্যালেন্সড দামে 500 মিলি মাত্র 15 টাকা এবং 330 মিলি মাত্র 10 টাকা। স্পা ড্রিঙ্কিং ওয়াটার, পানির জন্য ভালোবাসা। দেশের একমাত্র ব্যালেন্সড ড্রিঙ্কিং ওয়াটার স্পা এখন আরো ব্যালেন্সড দামে 500 মিলি মাত্র 15 টাকা এবং 330 মিলি মাত্র 10 টাকা। স্পা ড্রিঙ্কিং ওয়াটার, পানির জন্য ভালোবাসা।
We now move on to the international news. The U.S. has imposed new tariffs on 60 trading partners in the latest escalation in the trade war reignited by U.S. President Donald Trump when he returned to office last year. Those targeted, including the UK, China and the European Union, will face a tariff of 10% to 12.5% on all goods, accounting for almost all American imports. The tariffs, which replace an identical levy which expires on Friday, are based on claims key economic partners have failed to properly tackle forced labor. But U.S. trade expert Caroline Freund said the move is not about forced labor, but that Trump is simply looking for a legal reason to put the tariffs in. The U.S. Supreme Court had ruled earlier this year that many of the tariffs imposed globally under emergency powers were illegally enacted. The 10% to 12.5% duties on imports were proposed last month by the White House and over concerns they were not doing enough to tackle forced labor. More than 4,000 Israeli settlers and members of far-right groups have forcibly entered the Al-Aqsa Mosque compound in occupied East Jerusalem. According to Palestinian officials, a total of 4,288 Israeli settlers entered the holy site, marking one of the largest such incursions this year during the Jewish religious observance of Tisha B'Av. Al Jazeera reports that Israel's far-right national security minister Itamar Ben-Gvir entered the Al-Aqsa compound on Thursday morning under heavy Israeli police protection to mark the occasion. Tisha B'Av commemorates the destruction of the first and second Jewish temples, which Jews believe once stood on the site of the present-day Al-Aqsa Mosque compound. Palestinian officials say Israeli forces imposed strict restrictions at the mosque's entrances, preventing many Palestinians, worshippers and students from entering. They also alleged that several Palestinians were assaulted by Israeli forces. After entering the compound, Israeli settlers reportedly performed Talmudic religious rituals. Israeli media also reported that police allowed more than 1,000 Israelis to pray inside the compound, a move Palestinians say violates the 1967 status quo arrangement, which permits non-Muslims to visit the site but prohibits Jewish or other non-Muslim prayers there. During the visit, National Security Minister Itamar Ben-Gvir made the controversial remarks. The Jerusalem Governorate condemned Ben-Gvir's actions as provocative and dangerous, accusing the Israeli government of directly supporting the incident. In a statement, the Palestinian group Hamas warned that Israel and Israeli settlers would pay a heavy price for what it described as a blatant aggression. Meanwhile, 8 Arab and Muslim majority countries have strongly condemned the storming of the Al-Aqsa Mosque compound in occupied East Jerusalem by far-right groups and thousands of Israeli settlers. United States President Donald Trump has pledged to use frozen Iranian assets to pay for any damage to ships and cargo in the Strait of Hormuz, garnering strong condemnation from Tehran. Tensions between Iran and the U.S. have escalated since the beginning of July as the two sides trade attacks and Tehran targets U.S. military bases in the region. Washington completed its 13th consecutive night of strikes on Iran late on Thursday, with Trump saying he's considering a massive attack on the country bigger than ever before. Writing on his Truth Social platform on Thursday, Trump said that damages would be paid for by Iranian money that the United States has in its possession and controls. These damages may be very substantial, but nevertheless, this is the fair and equitable thing to do, Trump added. Iranian Foreign Minister Abbas Araghchi condemned Trump's comments and said in a post on X on Friday morning that seizing another country's assets to pay for unrelated future claims is an incendiary precedent. Spain has declared a national emergency in the Madrid region in neighboring France. Meanwhile, President Emmanuel Macron has invoked the EU's civil protection mechanism to ask for help. Tens of thousands of people were urged to evacuate on Thursday as forest fires continued to tear through Spain, France and Italy. The latest fires come as Europe prepares for another heat wave with temperatures of up to 40 degrees Celsius forecast in some areas. So far in 2026, wildfires have burnt more land in Europe than the annual average over the past 2 decades. Climate change is making extreme weather events such as heat waves and the forest fires that ensue more frequent and more severe. To better tackle several out-of-control wildfires, Spain declared a national emergency in the Madrid region and in the province of Avila, near the capital, late on Thursday. The measures aim to speed up the deployment of resources to fight the blazes, which have forced some 10,000 people in the region to evacuate. The decision also transfers the crisis response to the military emergency unit of the Spanish Armed Forces, which is specialized in disaster relief. Earlier on Thursday, Prime Minister Pedro Sanchez posted on X that the government has deployed every available resource to stop the terrible fires currently affecting numerous areas: Avila, Leon, Toledo, Madrid and other parts of Spain. And that's all from the newsroom for the moment. Thank you for staying with us. Allah Hafiz.